begin. So we saw yesterday about existence. I don't want to again go and discuss on existence. So now you are well prepared to know about existence. So then the question comes, how does the existence comes to be? Bhava, right? So something is existing. So what Buddha says is, I have taught you the following. So if anybody asks you, you have to explain like this. What does your teacher teach? My teacher does not teach meditation as closed eyes or whatever that is. My teacher teaches like this, to know what should be known. So what should be known? The five elements have to be known. Okay. And along with consciousness. That's what I have taught you, is what he says. Then he says there are 18 mental preoccupations. So today we'll go through those 18 mental preoccupations to see what happens. And then we will come to the crux of five elements plus one element, which is consciousness. So if you want to say what is Buddha Dhamma, or the Dhamma of the Buddha, the nature of things is five elements plus consciousness plus six senses into three types of experience. And that's it, what is called as the nature. Okay. Now to calm the mind, there is samatha, where you can close your eyes or open your eyes and watch your breath. All that is good. That needs to be done. But as far as Buddha's teaching goes, this is vipassana. That means to get an insight or to get investigative on the reality. Yep. So don't forget this on the teachings of the Buddha. If anybody asks you or you yourself have this doubt, what does my teacher teach? And my teacher in the sense, not me, the teacher for all of us is Buddha. Just give a second. Okay, so now first thing, there are six senses. They are not mine, they are not yours, they are nobody's, but you have. There is six senses. When we say you have, I have, it's just a language. Okay. So all of us have six senses. That's it. There's nothing above, below, like that. Animal, bird, insects, everything that we call sentient. Sentient means which we can sense. It can sense. So the question comes, what can it sense? It senses danger. It senses pleasure. It senses neutral. Or another way around, it senses dukkha, because there is fear. Fear of annihilation is there in every. So it is there with everyone. Fear of death. What is annihilation? It means going out of existence. We fear going out of existence. That's a fact. So don't become a hypocrite saying that, you know what, I don't want to exist. No, that is vibhava tanha. That's not going to work. You have to first accept, yes, there is existence. And all of us would like to exist. Okay. And if you want to exist, there should be six senses. Otherwise, there's no point in existing. Right? What would you do with existing without the senses? So you require senses. That means it can sense. To sense the pleasure, you require senses. To sense the displeasure, also you require senses. To sense neutrality, also you require senses. So, chakku with the rupa or eye with the sight will give three kinds of experience: pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Just a second. So, each one gives three experience. So, the basic idea of sense is to defer, move, or shut down the unpleasant experience and to prosper or to increase the pleasant experience and not consider the neutral experience. This is what it is. So the mental preoccupation, the mind is preoccupied in making sure the pleasant experience increases, the painful experience decreases, and there's an indifference on the neutral feeling. Okay? Is anyone sitting here wants to have painful experience? Please raise your hand in case you would like to have painful experience. Now we might ask a question. No, but when we go to Goenka's retreat, yes, we tolerate the pain. Yes, you tolerate the pain because you're being told by tolerating pain, you'll get pleasure. So that's the only reason the person is sitting there. Otherwise, he will not. So as long as the dopamine is there, so long the person will take the trouble. Yes, Abhishek.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think it's relevant that recent studies shows that the dopamine that we receive from actually experiencing a pleasure versus anticipating that I'm going to get a future reward is much higher because the in the moment is short. It's only now, but the anticipation is like it's in the mind, which is the mind would always like to think about the past or the future. So a lot of people, it's a much bigger drive. The anticipation for pleasure is also very, very high. That okay, this will happen. A lot of
Exactly. Supposing I want to go for a drive, the very idea of going for a drive is because I get dopamine. There's an anticipation of future reward. So when I want to go to a retreat, I've already created some amount of dopamine and more amount of oxytocin and even more amount of endorphins, which will snub the pain. Okay. And that much is ready. Okay. And the serotonin, which will give you a very comfort feel. It makes you feel secure. So when I say I'm going for a retreat, I'm going to tell to 10 people. I'm going for a retreat. Anyone interested? So they also get the dose of dopamine. So they asked this question: what is there in that retreat? You don't know how it is. You should just try once. But tell me what is there. See, don't ask me these questions. You just believe me. I'm telling you. And that's dopamine. The moment he says that, this person becomes restless. He wants to book. So he will also book his stay or whatever in anticipation that it works. So, six senses and its mental occupation is to increase the happiness and reduce unhappiness. Okay. And all of us, including all animals, to the smallest of, let's say, living organism which has six senses, are in pursuit of happiness. Okay. And the happy hormones are dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. That's it. If you get this in enough quantity, there's another beautiful chemical which get produced in the brain, anandamidi. Search for that. It's a beautiful chemical. It gives you elixir effect, deathless. And not only does that, it will give you ananda, bliss. So when we say we are in fourth jhana, for the whole month, the Ananda Midi is there. Got it? Searched it? Okay. Ananda MIDE. Okay. That was recently discovered. And that's a chemical which is required for you to get to the blissful state. It will not come if there is no endorphins. You should ask a woman who has got pregnant. She will have tons of endorphins. So you should become pregnant in the mind with that breath meditation. Then you get endorphins. You got the point. And when you get endorphins, you get oxytocin. And the serotonin will start to flow. The dopamine is always in supply. Okay? So don't forget these chemical changes which is happening in your brain. So this is the mental preoccupation of 18 kinds. Sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and thoughts. So now, if I am on first jhana, the whole day I am happy. If I am on second jhana, 3 days I am happy. If I am on third jhana, for the whole week I am happy. And if I am on fourth jhana, the whole month I am happy. That means the Anandamidi is going to be there for the whole one full month. So the objective of meditation is to increase Anandamidi secretion in the blood. That's it. It's not how you sit, whether you sit on the cushion or on sofa or legs straight or bent or this. Yes, it's called a bliss molecule. So how you sit, where you sit on yourself or on somebody's head, it doesn't matter. Whether you're getting Ananda Midi or not is matters. That's it. Okay? So ensure you get tons of Anandamidi whenever you do what is called as meditation. So the mind should be preoccupied with four chemicals: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins to get you Anandamidi. And you're done with your meditation. It doesn't matter where you're sitting, whom are you sitting with, it's a empty hut or it's this or that or whatever. Okay. And Buddha says three other things that needs to be done. Before you start anything called as meditation, watch for these three indicators. Number one, what is occupied in the mind right now? Something is occupied because mind has occupation. Okay, so when we say I'm working, it's basically getting occupied. I might be occupied with food, I might be occupied with this place, or occupied with driving, occupied with studying, occupied with writing, occupied with even meditation. I'm occupied. You have to ask this question: why are you occupied? Because if I am occupied, means I'm not in Nibbana. No occupation. To do that, the first thing you need to do is to do the Aranyagatova. There is a conflict in the mind to what to do and what not to do. So basically, you should now see what are you doing and what you should not be doing. So stop the doing. That's exactly what he informed Angulimala. He said stop, and Buddha said, I've already stopped long time ago, you are running. Stop. Then when you stop, go to the root cause of your running around. Rukkamula gatova. So go to the root cause of whatever you're doing. So you will find you would like to occupy something. That means there's anticipation. Stop the anticipation. Then you do shunya gara gatova. Empty the mind of anything and everything that is coming in the path. In its place, replace it with vivicheva kamehi. That is, remove all sensual things, far away, seclusion from sensual expectations. Vivicheva akusala dhammehi. Remove the five hindrances which are akusala. They bring the akusala to you. They bring the dirt in the mind. Seclude it. Now you bring that object which will occupy the mind. Now the question comes, what will occupy the mind? If you bring anything, the imagination or the image will get created. So why don't you bring breath? Because that has no symbol, no sign. Or you bring the breath. Now, can you be a witness of that breath? Yes. Basically, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I do vitakka vichara. Vitakka is to see how the breath is going and coming and all of that. And I start thinking on the breath, whether I'm able to notice the breath. So when I notice the breath, many things I can watch. Number one, the breath is going in, it stops. And then the breath goes out, and again there is stop. So, can I notice the stops between the breath? Our question comes, why? Because you have to calm the motion picture. It's moving. Camera, stop. As soon as I stop or start watching the stops in the breath, on an average, I was breathing 15 a minute, comes down to 6 or 7 a minute. So 8 breaths gone. Then I slowly watch it. It comes to 2 breaths a minute. And then it comes to 1 breath a minute. And then it stops. Now, when the breath stops, Anandamidi starts. So I'm enjoying. So the 18 mental preoccupations are temporarily suspended. Okay. Then Buddha asked this question. Having done this, do you still believe that it is karmic, or this is by divine, or this is by random? The answer is no. You were able to create it. So neither it is divine, nor it is karmic, nor it is anything to do with randomness. Can you repeat it again? Yes. 100 times can you repeat? Yes. Excellent. Next step is vipassana. He says, with support of the 5 dhatus or the elements, consciousness holds on to it. And when it holds on to it, it arrives into the womb. Okay. Vakkantiya sati namarupa. So now the visible form and the physical form can be seen as though magically it's appearing. Now the magic starts. And this magic, in Buddha's word, is Maya. Maya upamancha vinyanam. This is Maya. This body is 5 elements. But because the consciousness has held these 5 elements, it can now be called as Vilas. Namarupa Pachaya Salayatana. Now you will get 6 senses to sense happiness, unhappiness, and neutral. Salayatana Pachaya Phassa. Now there is contact between subject and the object. So there is a subjective experience, there's an objective experience. Okay, and that's called as an experience because the senses can experience. Pasapachaya Vedana. Now, this is what causes feelings. Now, the mind is already preoccupied with removing the unpleasant and favoring the pleasant and indifferent to neutral. It reacts. Now, in this particular case, if you are in fourth jhana, there is no reaction. Okay. But for a normal person, there is reaction. And that reaction Buddha calls as dukkha satya. Because I want not only to exist, but I want to exist in a pleasant state and remove the unpleasantness. So somebody tells me, Vilas, you have to take a trouble of so and your pain is gone. I will take more pain to get rid of the pain. So let's say somebody says, Vilas, you do one thing, you go to Dhammagiri in Brisbane, and in that place there is one kuti. You sit in that kuti, you will get enlightenment. Then I will convince Bobby. Bobby hates driving. But if I tell Dhammagiri, he will come. I know his weakness. So I will say, Bobby, you know what? I want to come to Brisbane. And Bobby says, Shaniel is already calling you in November. I say, no, I can't wait. But Vilasji, why you want to spend so much money and come here? Bobby, you don't understand. If I go and sit there, I get enlightened. So I will tell Shaniel, don't feel bad. I'll come again in November, but now I will come and go for the next 2 weeks. The flight charges is more than 100,000 Indian rupees. I will pay for it. I never mind sitting for 12 hours to Sydney and another 2 hours to Brisbane, totaling to 14 hours and landing at Bobby's place. And Bobby is tired of picking me up from the airport. And then I'm asking him, shall we go to Dhammagiri? Yes, Vilasji, take rest. Tomorrow we'll go. And then we go to Dhammagiri. What actually did I get? It's unpleasant sensation. So I took all the 14 hours flight plus visit to Dhammagiri. To do what? To be in dukkha. In anticipation of sukha. So what Buddha says is that first understand the Four Noble Truths to its real essence. You're born like this. The moment this happens, you're born in that state of existence. Did I not get born in Australia? I just now did. I will not rest until I reach Dhammagiri. Excellent. So, jati pi dukkha. As a birth, right now. Did the mind not go to Dhammagiri? I think yes. Or Bobby has said to me in Sydney, there's a huge forest meditation center. So instead of Brisbane, I will ask Bobby, why don't you come to Sydney? I'll somehow convince him. And he comes. And we head over to Sydney. So jati pi dukkha, jara pi dukkha. Now this five, six senses have been born in that existence, right? But the aging will start. Then vyadhi pi dukkha. There's some or the other kind of dis-ease. It's not ease. This is maranam pi dukkha. Now you say, Bobby, I need to leave Sydney sooner or later. Maybe a week, 2 weeks max. Because again I have to come back to Brisbane to meet Shaniel. Or I'll do another interesting manipulative thing. I'll convince Shaniel that we should meditate in Sydney. So I have 90 more days left. Today's 29th of August. So exactly 3 months from today, I just have to bury my interest for 3 more months. I'll say, I think we should go to Sydney. What do you think, Shaniel? Shaniel knows that I don't know why Vilasji wants to go to Sydney, but he's our teacher. We can't question him. So we'll go. But the main idea is I want to exist in Sydney. So Vyadhi is the disease. I'm feeling so much unease. Maranam pi dukkham. I had asked Shaniel to book 60 days. He did not agree. He said, my children are going to come and all that, he said. And I cannot antagonize him. I said, okay, this thing, so 40 days is fine. Something less is also okay. Now what I can do? But if he had given me the permission, I would have stayed for 60 days. Vilasji, what are you going to do for 60 days? Oh, you don't understand. The enlightenment takes time. Okay. But I am not getting enlightened by hosting you for 60 days. Well, that's immaterial. I would like to stay for 60 days. And the poor guy would say, well, maybe something is there. So I'll book him for 60 days. So my Sydney death is 60 days long, right? Brisbane, 60 days. But after 60 days, I am dead. Somehow you have to die. Somehow. So, maranam pi dukkha. Appiyehi sampayogo dukkha. Now, you know what? Coming back to Bangalore is a pain. With all these sounds and politics and all of that. But what to do? Right? And then Piyehi vipayogo dukkha. That half brick home was good. But now that half brick and the brick itself is gone, half or full, it didn't mind. But it was good. Empichan nalabati tampi dukkham. So whatever I wish for, I couldn't get it. Forget enlightenment. There's no light also. So then Sankitena Panchupadana Khanda Dukkha. In short or in summary, this attachment to five aggregates is dukkha. Why am I doing this? It's because of existence. Oh, then I will not exist. No. Understand, existence and non existence are both craving. So, what should I do? Look at the cause of it. Now, what I do, I go and see what is occupying my mind, arannagatova. Then I go to the root cause of my problem, dukkhamulagatova. Then I empty my thought process. Then I find there is no craving. So then I come into the fifth jhana, infinite space. Then I come to sixth jhana, infinite consciousness. Come to the seventh jhana, nothingness. Come to the eighth jhana, neither perception nor non-perception. Then let go of the perception and the feeling is gone. Now truly the consciousness has stopped. What Buddha informed Angulimala, you stop. That you is stopped. Now I know how did I end suffering. That's the end of the story. And having found myself in this state, what did I find then? Then I found out there is Samma Ditti and there is Miccha Ditti. Miccha as in distorted views, Samma as in proper view. What is distorted view? Is that happiness is in pursuit only. What is Samma Ditti? Happiness is the state of mind, not pursuit. You can't get happiness. You are happiness. You remove the you and the happiness arrives. So then I come to Samma Sankappo as opposed to Miccha Sankappo. So what is Miccha Sankappo? Is to possess. What is Samma Sankappo? The possession. Where do I get it? First, Nekkhamma Sankappo. Don't accumulate anything in the mind. Keep it empty. Abhyapada Sankappo. Don't have ill will towards yourself or others, because that will fill up the mind. Abhihimsa Sankappo. Don't torture yourself. Don't be violent with yourself or with others, because that will fill up again your mind. Very good. This is Panya, wisdom. Now we come to Sila. Miccha Vacha, Miccha Kammanto, Miccha Ajivu. Distorted speech and distorted deeds and distorted livelihood. And now doing Samma Vacha, talk Dhamma only. In worldly or unworldly or out of the world or transcending the world, it's only Dhamma. What should be done and what should not be done. That's it. That will give me Samma Kammanto. I'll only work on removing immoral deeds and not favoring these immoral deeds and favoring only moral deeds. I don't want to lose happiness. I've got happiness. I don't want to lose it. So then, my livelihood for this belly, this body exists. Need to shave, need to take bath, yes. Need to wear clothes, yes. Need to take this body here and there. Need to maintain, yes. When this body goes away, done. Then Michha Vayamo, Michha Sati, Michha Samadhi. Michha Vayamo, the pursuit of happiness. Samma Vayamo, you are happiness. You, in the sense, not a particular person. It's just happiness. Not conditioned happiness, just happiness. So you are in Sati, mindful of not losing that happiness, even for a moment. And hence you are in Samadhi. Why? Because you're in 4 jhanas all the time. And when nobody is around, you go to the other 4 jhanas. And whenever you want to switch off the computer, switch off. Nice one. Then, because of that, you get another 2 things: Samma Jnana, Samma Vimukti. So now you are liberated. There are no asavas. So journey ended. This is what Buddha names it as gradual training. Okay. This is the essence of Dhamma. Can you explain how we are in 4 jhanas while in happiness? Abhishek, have you really seen happiness? Or have you read on happiness?
I would like to think I have experiences of happiness.
What is happiness? Okay, I'll ask this question. What's the difference between bliss and happiness?
I simply reflect when I feel I'm in bliss, it's more of being in the present, higher state of being in the present moment. In happiness, to me, it feels there's still some sense of mind. There is an anticipation, or there is a sense of something that I was wanting, I have received, meeting an expectation, or meeting a desire, and meeting an accomplishment that comes with happiness. And once that happiness is becoming more concentrated, it goes towards bliss. This is kind of my rough breakdown.
Okay, let me give you an analogy. What is the difference between happiness and bliss? Bliss is standing below waterfall. Your body is soaked completely from head to toe. Happiness is you are in a tank, temperature controlled. Neither you're feeling hot, nor you're feeling cold, nor anything in between. You can't express what it is. You don't want it, and yet you are in it. There's no anticipation, there is no expectation, there is nothing. And yet you're filled with it. And that's what is genuine happiness. If something is there that will not make you happy, and the very fact that very thing is not there will not make you unhappy. Because there is no you to be either happy or unhappy or both. Our terms of happiness is meeting expectation, which is conditioned. So the definition of Buddha in terms of sukha and upekha, sukha is happiness. In fact, he says Arya Sukha. What the Aryas call as Sukha, a totally different thing. You have no expectations at all. And that very fact you don't have expectation makes you happy. Because the mind is not occupied with anything. And because you are like that, for the next 30 days, nothing can trouble. So the difference between the sensual happiness and this happiness, in sensual you have to pursue. In here, nothing to pursue. In sensual, it will last till that item is there. Like I and Bobby like Toblerone. Now I think Bobby has stopped eating Toblerone. Even before I went to Australia, he stopped it. He did a very bad thing. I was unhappy because I wanted to eat as many Toblerones as he wanted to eat. Anyway, that beyond the point is that now let's say we still have Toblerones. Big one. He gave me a real big one. Let's say I love Toblerone. The second one, not that. Third one, why? Because it is diminishing marginal returns. In fact, in economics, you have this called a diminishing marginal utility. Okay, maybe somebody can refer that. It's a beautiful curve. The more you do it, the lesser you get it. So any product, if you develop the same thing, the diminishing marginal utility takes over. That's what anicca is, to be honest. You get diminishing marginal utility. You can search it on the internet. It's an economic syndrome, demand and supply. If you think supplying more is going to increase demand, it's the other way around. But if you start increasing the demand and closing the supply, it turns into inflation. And if you supply more, it turns into deflation, and ultimately you get diminishing marginal utility. It's called law of diminishing returns. Even on an investment, okay, if the dollar were to remain the same, it takes itself into a diminishing marginal returns. Always there should be market fluctuations. So what a crazy thing. Anyway, so on any material thing, you have diminishing marginal returns. So you keep on innovating the product again and again because It's diminishing marginal returns. I think Shaniel would have known this a lot, that every product he's developing has a diminishing marginal returns. If you do the same Fruit Ninja, you will start losing the market. It's counterproductive. I'm giving what the customer wants, but then it's diminishing marginal return. Then you have to innovate. You do something different. Okay. Now I see this. On jhana, the diminishing marginal returns is there, but it is very elongated. Meaning it stays. My market should stay. It cannot fluctuate like this. Goes to high, goes to low, goes to high, go to low. So now I want a stability. I come into jhana. It's quite stable. But I want a complete stability. Then I have to quit jhana and get into nirodha. That's the highest stability. And that's what I do. I look at the defect in this, and that takes me to the second one. I see the defect in this, it takes me to the third one. Now there's nothing called defect. Why? Because you don't even exist. So where's the defect? In the first one, I exist with six senses. In the second one, I exist in a subtle way. The six senses exist. Third one, I is gone. And that's the highest happiness. Nibbanam paramam sukham. So all that we want, Abhishek, is to be happy. So when we do this metta meditation, may all beings be happy. We don't know what happy we are referring to. I think in general we refer to the first happiness, which is through the senses and material, not the second happiness, which is through jhana, and not at all from third. But what Buddha says is from the third, not from one and two. So just saying, may all beings be happy, means nothing. Yes.
That is a very valuable clarification because every time we were supposed to say that may all beings be happy, do the prayer, in my mind I would have a conflict that what happiness? Then it wants to process what happiness are we talking about? Because the same happiness that I want, I know it's going to slowly eventually lead to unhappiness. So then I could not do the metta bhavana in a way that in my mind is, again, we were talking about the conflict. I was not able to do it. So that really makes a difference. So in my mind, when I'm setting the intent, it is a clear intent that is going out as opposed to
Exactly.
having.
So when I do metta, I mean what I do. Well, first enter into jhanas and then come into the eighth jhana and do the metta. Because there's no self. If I just say, may all beings be happy, may all beings be out of pain, may all beings be this, it's just parroting. There's nothing which is happening. And then when I go to the ninth, the consciousness is stopped. Meaning, there's no conscious experience because the six senses are dead. Now, when you come back to the senses, you have touched the deathless. And now I see all consciousness as the same essence. Then I say, what? Sabbe satta sukhino bhavantu. Why? Because there is no distinguishment as you and me. So earlier I was manipulating Bobby. Now there is no manipulation. Earlier I was manipulating Aryu. Now there is no manipulation. I was manipulating Shania. No manipulation. Because neither Bobby nor Aryu nor Shaniel exist at all. So where's the question of manipulating? If something exists, then you would like to do something with it. If there is nothing that is existing in its unconditioned form, where's the question of manipulation? And you're released. You is released. So that's the ultimate happiness. So now you are one with nature. So if somebody asks me, do you want to come to Brisbane? Why not? But if somebody asks, are you going to Brisbane? No. You just now said you're going to Brisbane. Yes. Isn't that false? No. I'm going to Brisbane. But you just now said you're not going to Brisbane. Yes. If I go to Brisbane, I'm dead. If I don't go to Brisbane, I'm alive. But should you go to Brisbane? I didn't understand. Well, you will not understand. The reason being, there is sanya, perception of Brisbane, but there is also no sanya of Brisbane. Because if you lose happiness, means mind has already moved to Brisbane. Now, till I land in Brisbane, the happiness is not there. As though after reaching Brisbane, happiness is going to come back. No. What I do, I don't travel in the mind at all. So the six senses don't go anywhere. If they are not traveling, they're dead. That's Nirodha Samapatti. So you're done. And then the asavas will exhaust. You can then say confidently, this is my last birth. And that's the end of suffering in its entirety. At that, I'm ending today's whatever you can call this as. Hope you all had a good time. Good flight.
Thank you, Vilas. I have to drop
Yeah, you
call
can
now.
drop. Yeah, sure. All right.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Yes, Bobby.
Vilas, you are talking about that metta. So what I understood is that if somebody doesn't reach nibbana or something, he cannot have pure metta. That's what you're saying. But see now, when you are in meditation, and sometimes when you feel a lot of bliss or happiness, you share this, that may all beings get this. So now we know that this consciousness separation is there, like in that definitely it is there. But also your wish is kind of some beings, or you are sure that, for example, a dog or something, a dog, cannot get nibbana. That is, I think that is what my understanding is. So, but she who sincerely wish, they in some life, they come in contact with Brahma. So that wish is there. So is that wishing for this sensual pleasures, or is it?
That's okay. Sensual is also okay. Being a human, like Maya or Maya, as per you, your dog Maya, let it become human. Good wish. Yeah. Actually, it's a good wish. So you should do it. But what Buddha explains as the happiness, may all beings be happy, is from Nibbana perspective. Because that's ultimate happiness.
But that is impossible at that time, right? There's some in life, some.
No, that's not possible. So I'm just saying, when you are in Nirodha Samapatti and when you come back, that energy is so pure, and pass it to anyone. Because you are on deathless. Everything has death except Nibbana. So then you wish, may all beings be happy. Like when I see you, Bobby, wishing you from 4th jhana, and wishing you from 8th jhana, and wishing you from the 9th jhana is totally different. And that has an amazing effect, because I don't see Bobby at all there.
So Vilashi, like when you wish that, like it is a pure wish from your state of mind, but is that other person will benefit from that wish, or it is only your wish?
It's my wish. You might or might not. Let's say we can do one other thing. Anyway, when I'm in Cheniel's home, we can try this. I will not tell you what it is, then it will become an anticipation. We'll take it. Anyway, you will be there. I know you can't stay without coming there to Cheniel's home, and I would prefer you being there. So when you are there, we'll play a game, and then you'll notice the difference.
Because other day when I was with Sheniel, I think he gone into a very high state of meditation, and he told me that in that I wished you that you understand Dhamma. So I felt happy, but I'm just wondering whether I need to be eligible also, right?
No. You have to tune. So one thing Shaniel doesn't know is to how to make the other person tune to it before he passes it. So we'll do those exercises while you are there in Shaniel's home.
Thank you, Vilashi. I think I'm so lucky that I'm getting at least some pure wishes.
No. Shaniel and I might be transmitter, but the receiver also should be tuned. So otherwise,
receiver is not very receptive, I believe.
No, receptor has to be tuned. This is like like a FM channel. The music is coming. If somebody says, "Is the music coming?" Yes, but why I'm not hearing? Change the knob, turn the knob, and then it works. Right? So we need to do that. So we'll do it in Brisbane. I have you and Marin in my mind to play this game and show the difference. If I tell you now, it becomes anticipation and it breaks the whole thing. Since I brought up this issue, I just want to have it first-hand experience.
Oh, I can tune it.
You don't have to tune it. Now I'm
Oh, I
not
don't have
going
to,
to.
oh, sorry, I don't have to tune at all, right? So,
I will tune it for you, and then you just have to maintain that after I tell you what was tuned. If you could tune it by now, you would have got everything for me.
but you just now told, and the other person may not get it, right? So,
Yes, in
definitely.
general, unless tuned, will not. And that was the reason why Aryu, when he met me first time, he wanted to hug me because the tuning is like that. So he thought he had read somewhere that you to hug your teacher and then it just flows. So he tried and he was dissatisfied. And then entering into my house, the first thing he asked is, Vilas, can I hug you? I said, yeah, Aryu, you can hug me. But nothing happened. He was so worked up, he was crying. Nothing happened. So I need to do that with Aryu as well when he's there and when he lands on 30th of December. So now I got more matured how to handle Aryu and how to handle you and all that.
Hopefully, I don't develop any expectation and desire.
No, I didn't tell you what it is, right? So the expectation will
But still, when you say that, there can be something profound.
that is okay,
right?
that I can manage. But if I tell you what I'm going to do, it becomes pretty hard. We have to do something. We'll do. We'll tune,
you.
fine tune the instrument.
Yeah. Maybe a lot of hard work and trouble for you.
No hard work at all. She is, for the very first time, Veena has written a most appropriate thing.
I didn't read that. Just let me see. Oh, teacher knows how to do. Oh, she is very close, right? So you can tune her also.
I tried my best and her mind goes everywhere. It's just like, it's on a wild, Veena is a wild horse. It just goes. I've tried to put saddle, I've tried to put string and everything, and I've given up.
Oh, no, she. Tuning is Veena's option.
Yeah, she is, anyway, she's, what's that? She does counseling.
Oh.
No, I mean Veena as in the music.
Oh, the Veena.
Veena as an instrument. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yes.
Veena as
we didn't get that first, Okay, that was a good humor sense.
Okay, so yes, Abhishek.
I just wanted to acknowledge that today's time was very valuable. I feel there's a lot of profound clarity, and throughout the time, many times I felt that you were pouring liquid gold in our head, and
thank you.
I don't have words in a way to express that. A part of me which receive is beyond words, and I'm trying to express what I can.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Yes, Aryu.
Yeah, I mean, since we're here, I just want to say I often enjoy seeing Abhishek's pictures there. I felt his faculty is very clear. I don't know. I enjoy seeing his eyes.
Yeah, it's nice. He has a nice pair of eyes. He can be tuned faster. Let's see if we can tune him.
He's a resident of Araval, right? Araval? Or he stays there on a pilgrim?
Near. He's in Pondicherry.
No, I'm in Auroville.
Oh, you're in Auroville. Okay.
Yeah. That is the Auroville Botanical Garden behind me.
So, okay.
You are staying there permanently, or you came for a retreat or something?
Like most people who come to Auroville for a retreat or a few days and then they just stay. I came for a few months and then now I'm here.
Yeah, I was in have you heard of Bodhisandhu? No?
Yes, but it's not in Auroville. It's
Yeah, I know. I was there in last year for 1 month, and then everybody was talking about Auroville. I think everybody was coming from there, visiting. So many stories about this Auroville.
Yeah. We have a very nice place called the Matri Mandir. It's a concentrated chamber, and it's a place to visit. If you're here next time, let me know. We'll take you there.
I heard about that. They showed me some picture of that.
I took my mother, and she doesn't have much of spiritual. Maybe inside her it's there, but overall her life is not engrossed. And she went there, and she was mesmerized. And she comes out, and she's like, "What was that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "That was divine. It's out of the world." And so in a way, she can't pinpoint, but a part of her knows that that experience was like even just the architecture and the space and how it's consecrated. Something touched within her. And she was blown away that I can't explain what I witnessed. She was only there for 15 minutes. So it's a very special place. Most people don't realize. They see from outside. It's a golden dome. They call it the golden dome. They see from outside like tourists, but it's a very interesting place to visit.
Yeah, Bobby, you see, he is welcoming you. He's not even asked me once, do you want to come to Auroville?
Maybe he's seen something in me.
Yeah.
Well, you're my neighbor.
As Ariu told, I also felt that he has a good, some kind of energy. I felt like that.
No, you see what? I marketed Auroville the first day itself, and he didn't respond anything. And now he's talking everything about Auroville. Anyway.
That is
more like, the saying, the ghar ka murgi dal barabar is.
Yes, exactly.
It's close to me, it's like very close. The closest city in a way from me besides Chennai. It's just like, oh yeah, you can just come anytime.
That is not a fair, you can just come anytime.
No, let me put it in context. Everybody is welcome, and I would be very happy to take people around. I don't have many people who comes from outside. I can invite, and I can take them around, and who can relate and can enjoy. So I would be very, very happy for anybody to come and visit.
Yeah, I mean, where are you basically from? Roy means, are you from Kerala or you're from some other?
Kolkata.
Kolkata.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of these Roy also in Kerala.
I think Roy is like name in Kerala, but in Calcutta it is a surname mostly.
Yeah, surname.
Yes.
Yeah, but there are a lot of Malayalis whom I know ends with Roy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Roy is supposed to be a French name for king. I didn't know that. I recently learned that's what it means. And a lot of people, they assume there is some connection in the past that somebody came, maybe they were a Zamindar or somebody. So instead of the king name, they put it as a last name. This is, some people say, but I don't know.
Yes.
Quick question. As resident of Auroville, are you able to visit that chamber or whatever anytime you want? Because I heard there's something to practice samadhi, right? There's a ball or something, crystal.
Yes, there's a big crystal in the center, and I don't know how the whole thing works in terms of science of the architecture, but they have controlled sunlight entering the chamber from the top. So there's a mechanism on the top which brings sunlight, whatever the sun is, to hit the crystal at a 90-degree angle, and it hits the crystal, and the crystal is quite big. I don't know, can't show, but it's a very big crystal, and then it emanates energy or light, and because of the shape of the room, and I don't know all the things.
So you could always go there and meditate.
What's that?
So you can always go there and meditate if you want.
I can't go there all the time. I have to pre-register, because I'm not an Aurovillian. But Aurovillians who are officially Aurovillians, they can go in any of the slots. So there are slots. You just can't walk in. And there's a lot of you go through, it's an experience. You just don't, it's not like a Dhamma hall. So we just walk in. But as an Aurovillian, you can go without registration. You can just show up. And there are, around the chamber, on its side, there are 12 lotus chambers, which are 12 another small chambers. So what you could do is you can meditate inside, And once you're in a certain state, you can come outside and continue meditating in one of those chambers outside where there is no time limit. That's just like an open. But the other one is there is time slot to stay inside.
Nice.
Next time Aryu is in Bangalore, he'll certainly make sure he reaches Auroville.
One more question to Abhishek. See, now I know this Aurobindo yogi, right? He was a saintly person who,
Yes.
in the name of that place, has started, and so many people from foreign. And so, is it the same whatever? Now I think you're showing a lot of interest in Buddha Dhamma. Not Dhamma. So, is it similar, or is it something which how you are attracted to Vilashi?
Well, I have been, I think, primarily my primary practice have started through yoga and meditation. But later on, I realized during the practice of my yoga and meditation, somewhere the Vipassana jnana was coming in. I didn't know, it was not an intent. I didn't know what was happening. So for me, they're overlapped. I don't see them as two different paths. Although intellectually, I saw them as different. Until much recently, I see they're just stack. This builds on top of each other. How I came to be in Auroville, I found Aurobindo's stories to be very interesting when I came here first time in 2017, just how I learned overall things had evolved. So I was living in Canada for a very long time, half my life actually. And I was not really interested in staying there after a point. I was planning to move to Bali, and I ended up visiting Auroville. There are many stories in between, I'm just touching. And I decided it was the right time to continue staying here. Like whatever I was looking for, whatever I needed at that time, Auroville was more suitable for me. But in terms of being in Auroville, one of the things that attracts me is the whole concept of Auroville is to embody, it's an experience township to embody the path of yoga. And Vipassana is the higher form of yoga. That's why a lot of people call the yogi of Vipassana. No? So in terms of embodying through every aspect of life, as opposed to I have a job, so it's a segregated thing that in my job is no Dhamma, or they're not looking at it in that perspective. Auroville was created as a township, as an experiment where people can embody in all, like how Vilas is always saying that you have to embody all the time, not just like segregated. So the intent is that. Is everybody doing it? I don't think so. But a lot of people are, but that is the intent. And so there's the infrastructure, the facility overall is developed around that. So it's more inducive to be able to practice in a way. And maybe people move out and then it's easier for them to carry that forward. But at least the society is helpful, as opposed to in other places, the moment you leave your room or leave your house, you're like, nobody's helping me, everybody's fighting against me, or, for me, it's not as inducive. So in essence, that is really one of the intent. And Aurobindo's path, I've been reading certain things and attending some book reading and things like that. What I have realized is he's really gone in the high up in the realm of the path of yoga, maybe from one of the previous conversation, maybe how we go towards moksha, but I don't see a lot of things that leads the discussion towards nibbana. This is my perception so far. Like when I read there are books on psychology, there are books on many things on lifestyle. I feel they guide towards or closer towards moksha. And also, it's very clear that he was not directing towards nibbana. His path he was looking at is to create the future generation who will lead towards that, as opposed to just focusing on nibbana, because most people don't get it. It's really hard. Most people get stuck on thinking, intellectualizing, and they are in hallucination that they reach, like we were talking about, metta. It's a far off thing. So his idea was, let's get to here first. This is more accessible, and then we build further from there. So his thought was to create that, because yoga is in a way more accessible to people. We can touch, feel, and grasp that faster than the higher and subtler realms. So he talks the idea is to really be practical and real and work and integrate work, life, money, and all of that stuff before talking about much higher things.
That's right. So unless your psychological factors are completed, you just can't dream of doing something different.
So how you come in contact with Vilasji?
That's a long story. I don't want to take a lot of time, but
You can take. You can take.
So I was doing Goenkaji's tradition Vipassana for, I don't know, from 2017, so it's close to around 7-8 years. And at some point in time, I got plateaued, stagnated, things were not working. And somewhere around last year, I said, I really feel instead of helping me, it's actually not helping me now. And it's becoming counterproductive. It was happening for a few years, and I realized it was very clear to me something was becoming counterproductive. So unwillingly, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I have to figure out on my own. And I gave up the practice of the way I was practicing. But if you have something within you, you still go towards that. And somehow then one of my friends said that he found another teacher who was from Mahasi tradition and is supposed to have become Sotapanna at some point in time. Is doing a 10-day retreat, and that 10-day retreat was happening in March. And I had just decided that I'm not going to go back to another retreat because it's really not working. But I said, okay, I'm going to try one more time and see what happens because my friend has benefited. So I go to the retreat, and in that retreat, I meet this lady called Sangeeta from Delhi. And Sangeeta ji and I had connected after the retreat and stayed in touch. And right after the retreat, one of the meditators in that retreat was going to a 30-day retreat in Nepal. And somebody within the retreat told me that you should go. They're going to that retreat. I didn't know. And I had no intention. I decided I'm not going to keep going to retreat and nothing is happening. But many things indicated me that I should go to that retreat. And so I went to that retreat, and after 1 month, I decided to stay for a little bit longer. So I stayed for 17 days.
It is again Goenkaji's one, or?
No, this is from Mahasi tradition.
Or that Vivekananda,
Yes. So his main one is Kathmandu. This was in Lumbini. No, his is in Lumbini, but they are associated with the same teacher. And because Vivekananda Pant is his one, he's 6 months outside, 6 months in Nepal. He was not there. But anyway, so I was there, and I really got a lot of benefit this time. And I think, I went further through my willingness practice. And when I came back after like a week or two, Sangeeta ji calls me again that I have to share something with you. I said, what? And she spoke about Vilasji, and in my head, a part of me is in the protectionist state that, I finally found it. It's working. Let's stick to it. And I said, okay, I still have to have an open-minded. Like there is no either extreme, because I've learned staying in Goenkaji's tradition, people have a very close-minded approach that they cannot, and they close their eyes. You cannot even read in some centers books from another tradition. Forget about Buddha's books. Even in another tradition, another teacher, they don't like it. And I was like, I maybe that conditioning is there. So let me go and see. And so she sent me the video links, and I've been listening to it for a week. So I genuinely know something before I jump. So I've been listening, and with Dhamma, I realized I don't think of what I want to do, but I let myself expose. And then there is a part of me which then navigates, which is beyond my mind. So when I started listening, there are things inside me started becoming more spacious and open, and things started making more sense where there were before blocks. So intuitively, I knew that, yes, there's something that is naturally calling and attracting me. And then I spoke to Vilasji and then had some conversation. And even within that conversation, he picked on certain things, which had took me very, very long time, a lot of thorough research, working with very highly recognized psychologists from some of the best in the world. And within a very short conversation, he picked up right away. And I was like, okay, I think, I should work more with him. And since I have been coming, and it's not as much intellectual as opposed to just a natural inclination, which is very like, there's a lot of resonance. And for me, that's how it always works, as opposed to thinking, oh, this teacher is supposed to be the best, I should go. It does not always work like that.
You shouldn't, actually.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhishek. Yeah, we are really lucky. I'm also following him for a long time now. So I think we are very lucky to get this first-hand teaching of Buddha. All these suttas. I've also not seen anybody who can explain like this, and very deep understanding of all this. In my level, I feel that nobody explained to me the Dhamma like this.
Yeah, one of the most profound things that I have experienced so far is because I realized recently after coming back from the retreat that the last 7-8 years, I have been trying to understand the nature of things, the nature of the universal laws in life, in our life, in every possible aspect. I didn't know how to explain this thing, but that's how I was naturally inclined. Last few years, I've trained with teachers from all over the world who are really very renowned and even experts in their own fields. But I didn't know what I was looking for. But I now know I was looking for the universal truth through their collective teaching. And this time I realized whatever I have gathered so far in the last few years, this is true, and this is true. And put it together, and in the last few days of doing the classes, I realized it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but that is more of a contemporary scientific context. And even today's class, I was like, this is exactly my notes of what I have gathered so far, and I do want to hold workshop and teach it to other people. But it's the exact same thing. But now I have the Pali version of Buddha's teaching, and what I have come up with, I've gathered so far, it's precisely the same thing. So it makes me very happy that I'm now able to bring both of them together, as opposed to before. I think a part of my life was fragmented. That my feeling is this is true, but when people were teaching about Buddha's teaching, they were not able to bring that to earth in a way. It was there. It felt like it's not a part of me, but to be able to see that a part of my life in this current experience, I feel is profound. In a way, I feel it elevates us as opposed to thinking it's there somewhere, that we have to reach the space station. No, but just by knowing we are in the space station, just by being able to perceive and fathom. And so it has really made a big difference in my life. Even the last 3-4 days, I have found natural ease and that level of calmness without a lot of meditation. It just, something shifted in me last few days consistently, and it's just there naturally. So I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Abhishek. And I think I'm also feeling, I'm feeling very happy that you are here. And we can feel that your faith and enthusiasm in understanding the truth. And we are very happy that you are here. And yes, definitely we are all very lucky to listen to this Dhamma talk every day. Yeah. And sorry that we took a long time for
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah, Nitin, we will take it up. Take your question tomorrow because I need to also go for the meeting. If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.